Beauty with a Purpose, something about their background, and something that will be of interest to the whole world. And they're not being judged necessarily by who has the best presentation on Beauty with a Purpose, but they are being judged on their skills, presenting their purpose and presenting themselves to the judges today. Now, we're going to do it in alphabetical order, and we're going to begin, and our first contestant is Argentina.
Good morning, everyone. I am Guadalupe Lomar. I am Miss World Argentina. I am 21 years old, and I'm a student of translation and a teacher of English. Values have always been my guide. Since I was a child, I was taught about the importance of family, of being responsible, and of having a good heart. Sometimes in this modern world, we're told that being an empathetic person is a weakness, but today I'm here to prove otherwise. I consider myself a privileged person. I always had a plate of food, a roof over my head, a jacket in the cold, and ice cream in the hot, good education, and a present family. But I'm well aware that that's not a reality for everyone. That's why I founded Misionando. I always felt a deep connection with children. I think it is because I see their innocence and I see myself reflected in their huge dreams. But sometimes that sparkle in their eyes is lost because of the injustice of life. In a study made by UNICEF in 2024, it is shown that 7 million children are poor in Argentina, and 1 million of them skip meals because of the scarcity of resources. I founded Misionando because I would like to build a bridge that connects those in need with those that have the opportunity to help. And as I always say, we all have something to share. Maybe it's money or materials, but sometimes it's time and love. I truly believe that children should be children. They shouldn't be worried whether they're having dinner or not, if they had raised enough money to go home and not be heated, or if they have the tools to go to school. As the founder, I'm in charge of every step of this homemade but full of love project. It started back at home with the desire to take it beyond frontiers, but for now, I collect donations in my house. I help my little cousin help me pack and deliver them with my mom. But what I want is to give those children their dignity and their rights back. So today, I've donated school kits, plates and glasses, toys, clothing. I've helped open a new support children's center and a library for it, and also raise money for different causes. I always felt a calling in me to help others since I was young. And I think that calling is inside all of us. It's just that sometimes we are too afraid to listen to it. Today, I'm wearing this dress that is a visual representation of the power of one small act. I have pink fingerprints all over my skirt that are from those children who benefited from Misionando. I wanted to take them with me on this journey, but also I wanted, most importantly, to raise their voices worldwide. We have the opportunity to protect these children. They need us, and we have the chance to be their voice and to be their hope. I would like to invite all of you to add your hands in the Misionando tree. We all have hands, different, of course. Some are bigger, others smaller, different colors, but what they have in common is the power, the amazing power they have when united. So let's grab each other's hand and let's make a meaningful change. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Argentina. And now we invite Belize to join us.
They say purpose gives pain a voice, and when you listen closely, that voice can change lives forever. Good day, I am your Shayari Morataya, Miss World Belize, and my Beauty with a Purpose project was born from listening. Listening to the silent struggles of kidney patients across my country, to the quiet cries of families burdened by treatment costs, and to the undeniable call God placed on my heart to serve. In Belize, kidney failure is one of the leading causes of death. Each week, new names are added to dialysis waitlists. Many of these people had no idea they were even at risk. Over 60% of our cases are linked to diabetes and high blood pressure, both preventable and manageable conditions if only the knowledge reached in time. But the problem just isn't the disease, it's the silence around it. It's the silence, and I knew I couldn't remain silent any longer. Nearly 3 years ago, I launched a national kidney health campaign with one goal: to educate, empower, and save lives. Through this mission, I've traveled across Belize, hosting free clinics in rural and urban communities, offering vital health checks for blood pressure, glucose, and kidney functions. For some, these clinics were the first time they had ever had access to such services. I've walked into classrooms to teach children and teens how to care for their bodies, created engagement educational materials in both English and Creole, and partnered with local medias to broadcast messages of awareness to thousands. I wanted to make kidney health more than a medical topic. I wanted to make it part of our national conversation. But the work went beyond the numbers. I sat beside patients during dialysis. I held hands with family members as they navigated the pain of losing loved ones. I witnessed the strength it takes to fight this disease without resources and the courage it takes to keep going anyway. That strength is what fuels me. To extend the reach of my mission, I became a proud member of Lions International, a global movement rooted in kindness and action. While Lions doesn't have a specific pillar for kidney disease, it passionately advocates for diabetes prevention. Through my work with the Lions, I know to help deliver programs for young people, combining my mission with theirs and empowering the next generation to take charge of their health. This project is not just about kidneys. It's about creating a healthier, more informed Belize. It's about community. It's about dignity. And above all, it's about hope. Beauty with a Purpose is not just a campaign for me. It's a way of life. It's the embodiment of a deeper calling, one that reflects the greatest example we've ever known, Jesus, who came not to be served, but to serve. And like him, I chose to lead through love, through action, and through unwavering faith. More than 850 million people worldwide are living with chronic kidney disease. Most don't even know it. But if I can be the voice that sparks a conversation or the hand that helps someone when they're in need, then every moment of this journey has been worth it. I may wear a crown, but I carry something far more important, a mission rooted in service, powered by compassion, and destined to continue long after the spotlight fades. This is my beauty with a purpose. This is the legacy I chose to build. And by God's grace, I will keep serving, one life, one heartbeat, and one act of love at a time. Thank you.
Thank you, Belize. Please now welcome to the stage, Bolivia.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm proud to be here. I'm proud to represent Bolivia and want to thank my parents for always supporting me and my dreams. I feel very grateful to be here today. Before I share my stories in Spanish, I would like to say Miss World is not only a beauty pageant, it is a chance to show who we really are and what we care about. Today, I will open my heart to all of you and share my history. Desde muy pequeña me gustó bailar, cantar, actuar. El arte fue lo que me hizo conectar con mi esencia y poder aprender a soñar.
From a very young age, I enjoyed dancing, singing, and acting. It was through art that I connected with my essence.
A mis 16 años, mi vida dio un giro completamente.
When I was 16, my life completely changed.
Mi papá, mi inspiración, sufrió un derrame cerebral que lo dejó parapléjico y sin el poder de hablar.
My dad, my biggest inspiration, suffered a stroke and he got paralyzed and couldn't speak.
Eso marcó un antes y después en mi adolescencia, lo cual hizo que crezca el deseo en mí de servir y ayudar a los demás en sus propias batallas.
That marked a before and after in my teenage years, and it awakened in me the desire to help and serve others.
Por eso fue que decidí unirme como voluntaria y embajadora a una organización llamada Santa Cruz Siempre Verde.
That's why I decided to use my voice for something bigger, and I joined as a volunteer and ambassador for Santa Cruz Siempre Verde.
Ellos se encargan de actuar en emergencias ambientales en Bolivia.
They are in charge of taking care of
emergencias ambientales en Bolivia.
Environmental emergencies in Bolivia.
En los últimos 5 años, Bolivia ha perdido más de 10 millones de hectáreas por los incendios forestales.
In the last 5 years, Bolivia have lost over 10 million hectares due to wildfires.
El 2024, junto a Santa Cruz Siempre Verde, plantamos 5.000 árboles e implementamos educación ambiental a cientos de niños y adolescentes.
In 2024, we planted 5,000 trees and we provided environmental education to hundreds of children and teens.
Sembrando en ellos una semilla de esperanza y de conciencia.
Planting hope and consciousness in them.
Pero no fue hasta que conocí la comunidad indígena Yorea Poza Verde que conocí la verdadera palabra, el verdadero significado de la palabra necesidad.
But it wasn't until I visited an indigenous Ayorea community called Poza Verde that I learned the real meaning of the word necessity.
Al llegar ahí, encontrarme con calles de tierra, colegios sin pupitres y niños que me miraban con emoción en los ojos, pero que al mismo tiempo gritaban en silencio por ayuda.
When I arrived, I saw dirty roads, school with no desk, and children with emotion in their eyes, but I could see through their faces that they were in silent calling for help.
Escuchando al cacique de la comunidad contarme sobre las enfermedades que estas personas estaban sufriendo por el agua potable,
listening to the leader of the community speak about the diseases they were suffering because of the lack of clean water,
me rompió el corazón y en ese momento supe que tenía una misión.
It broke my heart, and in that moment I knew I had a mission.
Así fue que nació Fuentes de Esperanza. un proyecto que busca llevar agua potable a comunidades olvidadas.
That's how Fuentes de Esperanza was born, a project that wants to take this initial to give drinkable water to different, and for an effort we were able to build a firewall.
Ayudando así a 258 familias y garantizando que estos niños, mis niños, puedan crecer en un lugar seguro.
Helping 258 families. And in that way, children, my children, are able to grow in a safe place.
Verlos correr hacia mí gritándome, tía Olga, me hace recordar la razón de mi lucha.
Hearing them running to me and calling me Auntie Olga reminds me of the reason why I'm doing this.
Fuentes de Esperanza no es solo un proyecto, es una promesa de vida, dignidad y esperanza.
Fuente de Esperanza is not just a project, it's a promise of life, dignity, and hope.
Y hoy estoy aquí parada frente a todos ustedes y en esta gran plataforma que es el Miss World para demostrar que cuando uno hace las cosas de corazón,
Today, I'm standing here in front of all of you and in the passion of Miss World to show to you
cuando uno hace las cosas de corazón, el cambio es posible.
that when we do the things with our hearts, things are possible.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bolivia. And now please welcome Brazil.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm Jessica Pedroso. I'm 25 years old, and I'm proudly representing Brazil at the 72nd Miss World edition. And what if I told you that the most powerful resource we have is something as simple as a pen and a book? With them, we can write stories, we can create things, and we can truly understand the impact we have in the world. Everything we have, every great invention, every great thinker, everything is started like that, with a pen and a book. I came from a family of teachers, and that's very meaningful to me because I could see all the work that my mother and grandmother did in people's lives. And I learned with them that education is not a job, it's a mission. And I started teaching at the age of 16, and education became my life mission. And then I started my studies in literature, pedagogy, and languages. But unfortunately, we see that education, that is a right for all, is still a privilege for few. And that's why back in Brazil, I work very close to Lar Franciscano, a shelter in my city that provides not only food and the basic needs, but support, so they can have everything they need to give a step forward in their lives. And that's when Pescar project comes in. Pescar is one of the biggest educational projects in Brazil. Pescar in Portuguese means to fish. Give a man a fish and you teach him for a day. But if you teach them how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. And that's exactly the motto of this project. And I'm very honored to work in this as a volunteer teacher. I brought the English subject to them, not only to empower them with the language, but to connect them with the world, with different cultures. Last year, I could see 14 of my students graduating, and they left vulnerability behind, and they stand tall for their futures, and they were capable to write their own stories with their own hands. And that's such a privilege for me. But we need more than that. We need global governments to invest in education, to promote awareness, and to support teachers. We need partnerships, global partnerships, to truly reach those in poverty, those in need. And I'm very honored to be here and to share my project, because when we give, someone a book and a pen, we are not only giving them tools, we are giving them wings to fly high and to reach their dreams. And we are here all, not only representing our countries, but together we are the whole world, and that's so powerful. For the period of 10 years, I wrote a book, and it's called The Beauty of Being Imperfect. And I wrote this to highlight that we are human, and we have fears, we have mistakes, we have vulnerability. It's very hard to be here right now, because that's normal, we are humans. And that's nothing more beautiful than that. We really need to embrace who we are. And I want every one of us live here today inspired to write new stories, stories of love, compassion, unity, because big revolutions don't start with weapons, but we start with knowledge, with education. And all of this starts with something as simple as a pen and a book. So thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brazil. The next contestant is Canada.
Wache. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Emma Morrison, and I stand before everyone here today proudly as the first Indigenous woman in history to ever represent Canada here at the Miss World Festival. Saying that out loud truly brings me so much pride and joy, because I grew up from a very small First Nations community of only 600 people in Canada. And growing up, I've seen the struggles that we face, particularly Indigenous women and girls. Because I was born with Native ancestry, I am 12 times more likely to fall victim of homicide on my own native land. And Indigenous peoples in Canada still face the effects of the residential school system, which was a system designed to take children away from their homes, force them to attend these boarding schools, and take away their culture, their language, and their spirit, often costing them their lives. Over the years, over 10,000 unmarked graves have been found at these residential school sites, including my aunt and uncle's grave. So I stand. So knowing all of this, growing up, it shaped the way that I seen the world and my place in it. So I felt very small. But my mother, she transformed that sorrow into a purpose. And she truly taught me how to care for others and how to forgive. And we transformed our home into a foster home, where we have fostered over 15 Native children and made an impact in their lives. And this all led for me to develop my Beauty with a Purpose project, Ribbons, which is focused on Native empowerment through cultural empowerment, personal motivation, and financial support. It started through sewing ribbon skirts, which is a traditional piece of clothing in my culture, worn by Indigenous women to feel strength. And I have made over 40 ribbon skirts throughout the years. And then I became a motivational speaker, partnering with an international Indigenous-led company that promotes confidence in youth. And we have spoken to over 10,000 students across Canada and spoken to over 30 schools within my nation, reminding Native children to be proud of their cultural identity. And lastly is my pride and joy, and that's the Ribbons Bursary, which I developed to help the young Native girls who attend my former elementary school buy everything that they need in order for them to have an opportunity and chance at life, whether that be school supplies, hygiene products, anything. And I raised close to $10,000 for this cause. But my most precious moment and my inspiration to this day is a young girl named Paris. Paris is 9 years old, and she faced a tragic loss where her entire family was killed in a car accident. So as a young Native girl going through many struggles, I knew that I wanted her to be the first recipient of my Ribbons Bursary. And when she came to my home and she seen the mountain of school supplies that I got for her, and her aunts saying, "Miigwech, ama, miigwech," this reaffirmed my purpose that I need to help more young girls like Paris everywhere. Ribbons is my entire spirit as a Native woman. And being the first Indigenous woman to win Miss World Canada, I know that that means nothing if I do not pave the road for others to follow. So I use my voice to advocate for those who are still fighting to be heard. So please join me in Ribbons so I can expand my initiative across Canada and across the globe to make sure that all Native children, women, and people everywhere are seen, heard, and empowered. Because just like ribbons, we are stronger when we are tied together. Miigwech, thank you.
Thank you very much, Canada. Please welcome now Cayman Islands.
Good day, everyone. Namaste. My name is Jada Ramoon, and I am a 26-year-old programs coordinator with the Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce. In my job, I manage all of the programs that have been implemented within the Cayman Islands community to ensure that our youth are able to go into society and live productive lives, whether this is through entrepreneurship skills or basic life skills. When I'm not at work, you'll find me repping it out in the gym. For 3 years, I have been a natural bodybuilder, and I can definitely say that bodybuilding and fitness has been a lifestyle and a lifeline. When I'm not in the gym, you'll find me in a good book. Since I was a little girl, I've loved reading, and I've also studied literature, and for 2 years, I was a journalist. And finally, I'll tell you about my guilty pleasure. That is karaoke. I've given myself the appointed title of karaoke queen, and I'll stick with it. I come from the land of pale emerald seas and soft, fresh breezes, where it is summer all year round, and the breeze is like a kiss on the cheek, and that is none other than the beautiful Cayman Islands. But today, I am not here to talk about sunshine or sea breeze. I'm here to talk about the quiet storm that no one sees. In the Cayman Islands, 1 in 3 students has thought about ending their lives, and 13% of them have tried. I don't read these numbers just as statistics, because I was also one of those numbers. At the age of 16, I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression, and I lost myself. I was surrounded by people, but I felt invisible. I smiled every day, but inside I was screaming. I would lie awake at night with a heart that would not stop racing and a mind that would not stop whispering, "You are not enough, and you'll never be enough." I was drowning quietly in a world that doesn't necessarily hold space for sadness. But in my darkest moments, outside of the support from my loving family and therapy, a light reached out to me. The Alex Panton Foundation was that light that helped save me. They saw me when I felt unseen. They listened when I had no words. They reminded me that healing isn't linear, but it is possible. That is the moment my purpose was born. My beauty with a purpose is not just about survival. It was the kind of silence that nearly stole my life. It's about breaking the chains of stigma and building bridges to hope. And for me, that hope came through something unexpected: movement. I created an initiative called Mindful Movement because fitness didn't just build my body, it rebuilt my spirit. Every push-up, every rep, every drop of sweat was a prayer. It was me telling my pain, "You do not own me anymore."
Now, through Mindful Movement, I aim to partner with local gyms and wellness professionals to create safe spaces where people can heal, not just physically, but emotionally. We move our bodies to quiet our minds, and we lift weights to lift the weights off of our hearts. Because depression is real, anxiety is real, but so is hope, and so is healing. So is the strength that rises within you when you feel you have nothing left. To anyone out there who feels like they are breaking, please hear me. Your story isn't over. You are not a burden, and you are not weak. You are human, and you are loved. I was once a statistic. Now I am a voice for the voiceless, a light for those in the dark. This is my beauty, and this is my purpose, and I give it to you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Cayman Islands. Please now welcome Chile.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Francisca Lavandero, and I will represent my beautiful country, Chile, in the south of the world. I am 25 years old, and I am a commercial pilot of airplane. When I was young, I saw a commercial on a TV about a national airline, and the pilot was a woman. She inspires me with her history, and now I want to demonstrate to the new generation of girls that nothing is impossible. In this moment, only 5 or 6% of pilots around the world are women. Also, I did high jump and long jump in the school, and I have a foundation called AES. And now, if God had a face, what would it look like? Can you imagine it? Since I was born, elderly people have been a fundamental part of my life. My mother was raised by her grandmother, and because of her, she is the woman she is today. My grandfather started working at the age of 5 years old. While other children played, he worked to survive. And like him, thousands of seniors dedicate their lives to building our society. But today, when they need us the most, what do they receive from us? In my country, more than 50% of elderly people live alone or in negligent conditions. During the pandemic, my grandparents got sick with COVID. They were hospitalized, bedridden, fighting for their lives. My grandmother remained immobile for 2 years until she passed away. But she had something that many don't have, love. Because there are Jews who die without anyone to mourn them. I have visited homes where seniors live on the floor, where they go days without food, where their only companion is loneliness. People who gave everything and now are forgotten. I couldn't just stand by. That is why I created AES, a foundation that fights to ensure no elderly person dies abandoned. How do we do this? We don't just provide food or shelter. We restore dignity. We have created a network of volunteers who visit them on important dates, organize awareness campaigns, hold events with local government and businesses, run health and wellness programs. But above all, we remind them that they still matter. AES is not only a foundation, it's a movement. We want the world to understand that growing old should never mean being forgotten. And if God had a face, what would it look like? Can you imagine it? For me, the face of God is us. Each and every one of us in service to others. Every act of help, every gesture of love, every moment we dedicate to others is God reflected in us. Thank you so much, and namaste.
Thank you, Chile. Thank you. Right, would you now please welcome Colombia?
Hello, everyone. My name is Catalina Quintero, and I'm the proudly representative of my beautiful country, Colombia, at this wonderful stage of Miss World. I really want to say that I'm an international business manager. I also have a minor in sustainability and circular economy. I'm fluent in English and Spanish, but I also speak French, and I'm learning Portuguese. I used to work as at the administrative area of a company in commerce and international logistics. From a very young age, I used to know the importance of serve others because of my dad. The history of my dad really improved myself to help others because he used to be a very poor children when he was young. And right now, he is the owner of a big company at Colombia, a beautiful company that he makes. But he never lose their values and principles. He ran a foundation to help children from sexual workers at my country. And I have a quote of Maria Teresa del Calcutta that is, if you don't live to serve, you don't deserve to live. That's why I'm the ambassador of the first hospice in Colombia and almost the first one in all Latin America. We want to give them quality of life, care, medicines, love, and also we want to give for both our patients and their families. We are a team. We are a team with Palatine missionaries as Miroslav and Marius that inspires ourselves in successful structures from Poland. That's why we have almost domiciliary services of hospice already in Colombia. And we will have everything to build this dream at my beautiful country. I leave you with my favorite quote that is, if you can't add days to your life, then add life to your days. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Colombia. Now please welcome Curacao.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, world. Good morning, Telangana. Before I start my speech, I want to extend my gratitude to the Miss World organization for giving us this opportunity to let our voice be a change and to let us voice be echoed to on many, many, many borders. So I want to say a thank you to that. Telangana, Dhanyavadu, Telangana Zarurana. As a woman that believes in catalyst of change, I understand the power of leading with both hearts and also leading with a purpose. I believe in sustainable impact. To House My Beauty with a Purpose project, I started it since I was 17 years old. Now I have 5 years that I'm doing it. I started this project because I couldn't work. I didn't have enough resources, so I started volunteering, giving dance therapy to elderly, dance therapy with people with disabilities, dance therapy with also individuals with Down syndrome, and also with youth and also with children. My mission was to give an impact. My mission was to be standing in the gap when people felt overlooked and people felt that they were not enough. So that's why I wanted to start my Beauty with a Purpose project. I want to be a trailblazer. I know that already Miss World gave a Caribbean girl an opportunity in 1917, Jennifer Huston from Grenada, they gave her an opportunity, but I want to be a trailblazer for my country. I see a lot of potential in myself. I know a lot of Caribbean are seeing me right now, and I know that Miss World is giving us an opportunity. And I can see that's why I love this competition, because they give us a voice and give countries with less than 200,000 people a chance to prove to the world that we are capable and we are enough and we can prove. So one more time, thank you to the Miss World organization. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Curacao. Now please welcome Dominican Republic.
Purpose doesn't always come from achievement. Sometimes it is born out of pain. There's some moments in which everything just starts feeling different. Not because everything's perfect, but because life has given you a privilege to do something greater than yourself. Something that is no longer about you. Something that it's about the people who you serve, who you love, and who you touch. That's something I learned when I was just 14 years old. By that time, I had fulfilled many dreams, but I felt that something was missing, and it was the desire to do something for people in order to begin living. Namaste, India. My name is Mayra Delgado. I'm 23 years old, and I represent the Dominican Republic. I come from a traditional family whose sample taught me all the values I carry with me today, but that the most important thing in life is not what you have, but what you're willing to give. Since I was a child, I believed that education was the most important tool to change the world. That is why I got a scholarship to study business administration and management. And also I got a certification in disruptive strategy at Harvard Business School. Well, that's one of the most important achievements I have in my professional life. Today, I'm the president of Premium Class Marine Academy, which is a project that we empower young ladies, and also women through leadership and self-esteem. Also, I'm very passionate about communication. I'm now the reporter of Univision New York, where we launch Ventana Quisqueya, which is a segment through which we fulfill all the things we have in the Dominican Republic. But what really fills me, it's serve to others. When I was just 14 years old, I started my very first social project. It was Manos Surcadas, a foundation that focused on helping elders abandoned in nursing homes. But it was just in 2021 where I founded my second nonprofit organization, which is actually my Beauty with a Purpose project. It's focused on the prevention, early detection, and diagnostic of breast cancer. In the Dominican Republic, breast cancer is the most common cancer. Thereby, in the 2023, for example, there was 3,400 new cases diagnosed, and 1,400 cases led to death to so many women. And this project was born from my inner pain of losing a second mother to me. And we try to provide them with breast screening campaigns multiple times a year in vulnerable communities in different areas of the Dominican Republic. Just imagine having a person that you really love suffering from an illness that maybe will take their life and you cannot do anything about it. That was my story. In my country, there's a lot of people that do not have access to this kind of resources. We use medical equipment with high-tech technology, with artificial intelligence, and we try to help them with all the things we have. But our transformation goes beyond that. We try to provide them with psychological support and also with self-esteem workshops. And there's a lot of people that have supported us. And we have recognized from different institutions such as the Chamber of Deputies of the Dominican Republic, also the Dominican Consulate in New York, and the Ministry of Youth. This work has not gone unnoticed as well. But at the end of the day, I think that the most important thing is to provide those resources with your opportunities. And that is why I am here as Miss World Dominican Republic, because I believe in the power of beauty with a purpose. I believe in the power of unity. And I believe that we can raise our voices for our communities. And as Martin Luther King once said, the most urgent question in life is, what are you doing for others? Thank you.
Thank you. Dominican Republic.
I ran a book that shared all the impact we had had in the Dominican Republic as a gift for you, if it's possible to hand it to you.
There we are. Thank you. And now, Ecuador.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Namaste, India. I am Sandra Alvarado, and right now I have the honor to speak for Ecuador through my voice. First of all, what I want you to know is that the biggest tool that I have right now to talk with you is just my open heart. Because I want to speak not exactly about me, I want to speak about my people that definitely need me in this moment, in this political moment of Ecuador. So if I have to talk a little bit about me, I will start talking about my family. My father is a lawyer and a musician, and he taught me how to feel through music, but how to act through love. My mom is my biggest inspiration, and for me, she is the meaning of a truly beauty with a purpose. She is a childhood educator, so I grew up seeing her educating with so much love, with so much passion, and that's why right now I am a lawyer by profession, a musician by profession, but I am a teacher by vocation. So thank you very much, Mom, for having me here, for believing in me in my best, but also in my worst. I love you. So in this way, let me ask you something. What happens to a child who grows up in a place where dreaming is not allowed? What I want you to know is that in this moment, when I am taking this microphone, there are more than 70,000 of children in my country that are taking weapons. That's what's happening in my country right now, where I am with this microphone. So that's why I pursued my own purpose. I found my purpose. I started my journey with El Rincón del Futuro. The name is The Future Corners in English. And it's an organization that brings education, extracurricular subjects as music, art, dance to them, so they can open their minds and understand that there is other ways to exist, not just around weapons and violence, that they can choose. I have 2 years as a Miss World Ecuador, so definitely I decided to look at that like an opportunity. So I had the opportunity to came last year to India to attend to Miss World 71st edition to support my last Miss World Ecuador, but also to find answers. So I visited Mumbai Smiles as a way to learn, to discover, and to get inspired so that I can continue with my legacy in my beauty with a purpose in my country. I get inspired by one project that is called Mumbai Smiling Bus. That is a place where they bring education to those places in rural areas. Now, I couldn't start with a bus, but I could start with a mobile board that brings education to those rural areas, and that's amazing because that's the way the Miss World acts. That's a way to inspire. And now we are building that gap together between India and Ecuador. And for me, that's something amazing. Right now, what I want you to know is that then of 2 years as the reigning Miss World Ecuador, I discovered that the prize is not already in my head because the crown is not in my head, it's in my heart. When you have a lot of uncertainties, you discover that you are not here to feel pretty or beautiful just because you have something in your head. There is a voice. The crown is not a reward, it's a voice. It's a responsibility. And now I feel that my purpose is done because now I can speak for my people. And I just want to encourage all of you to be part of my journey. And as well, I want to be part of yours because definitely education is the way to gap the future. And remember, many small people doing small things in small places can change the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ecuador. And now, El Salvador.
Hi world, it's a pleasure for me to introduce myself with you. I am Sofía Estupinian and I am proud of representing El Pulgarcito de América, El Salvador. I am 25 years old. I have a communications degree and I am an entrepreneur woman in the advertising world. I am fortunate to have my own business, Coco Advertising Agency, or in my language, Spanish, Coco Agencia de Publicidad. It has been formally registered company for over a year, but I started it while I was still in college, helping brands in different areas I am passionate about, such as digital marketing, graphic design, photography, video production, social media, event planning, and more. I am a resilient, creative, and committed woman, and I am always eager to try something new. And thanks to my professional career, I have had the opportunity to meet many entrepreneurial women in El Salvador. Through them, I saw the necessity to provide education in digital marketing to help them grow their businesses and reach new markets. Today, every business needs to have a presence on social media, and that is why I create Ellas Crecen, or They Grow. Ellas Crecen is a social empowerment program aimed at strengthening the entrepreneurial spirit of women leaders in El Salvador. In They Grow, I provide valuable knowledge and training on how to leverage the social media as a powerful tool in digital marketing and businesses. Through practical workshops, personalized mentoring, and access to business tools. In El Salvador, 60% of micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises are led by women, and I am one of them, showcasing the resilience of Salvadorian women. The true success of the program is measured when a woman is able to transform her reality thanks to what she has learned it. And I would like to expand my program with many more women around the world. Because if today we support a woman in her dreams and her goals, tomorrow we can transform in a stronger and more independent communities of women leaders. Thank you so much.
So, well done, El Salvador. And now we come to Guadeloupe.
Good morning, everyone. Handari Namaskaram. I am Noemi Mille, Miss World Guadeloupe, and I'm so grateful to be here today. So I would like to start with a quick story. I remember, since a very young age, feeling like I had the weight of the world on my shoulders. So that's why at 16, I entered medical school, graduating in 2021, then specializing in psychiatry. At that time, I was full of hope, but then I quickly faced the limits of the system we live in. In our world, one person takes their own life every 40 seconds. 970 million people live with a mental disorder, and chronic preventable diseases account for 75% of global deaths. And every day I ask myself, what if we had the right tools? Because we treat the body, but ignore the mind. We treat the mind, but ignore the heart. And we treat the heart, but ignore the soul. I studied psychotherapy, mindfulness therapy, ancient healing practices, and I even graduated in criminal psychology beside my medical studies. But something was always missing. So I created a solution, the Worldwide Healing Program in 2020. That's a holistic preventing program directly aligned with 9 Sustainable Development Goals. We teach people how to rise thanks to inner work by helping them align body, mind, and soul. And it works because we have already helped over 1 million people, reaching more than 2 million views online. But I know we can go further by collaborating with Miss World's global reach and platform. During that time, I also published my first book about human consciousness, and it reached the top 3 on Amazon within weeks. I was really surprised, but it confirmed that I am aligned with my life mission. I would like you to imagine a world where we wake up in the morning with love, gratitude, and purpose in our families and in our hearts. That's the society I would like to create, thanks to my 50-year vision. But I need you, I need us to unite together to make this happen. You know, I know what it is to smile in public but cry in private, because I faced cyberbullying, a reality 95% of content creators experience and 50% of children experience. Last year, I lost my father while I was working in burnout 6,000 kilometers away from home. But still, I rose thanks to these tools, the same tools I am sharing today for free. So that's my goal, that's my beauty with a purpose, and that's why I am here at Miss World today. Thank you, Dania Badalou.
Thank you very much, Guadalupe. Our next contestant comes from Guatemala.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Jamie. I am grateful to be here today. I am a woman who learned to speak not only myself, but for those that are not heard. Many children around the world are marginalized due to socioeconomic condition and multiple disabilities, and Guatemala is no exception. But I refuse to let that define my future. I reached my dreams, and today I can say I did it. Now I have the power to be the voice for these children. My social project is linked to my personal story. I lived an environment of rejection and discrimination. Latidos de Luz is a project that seeks to raise awareness and empower children and young people with multiple disabilities. This initiative is aligned with Sustainable Development Goal number 4, which focus quality education, and focus in goal number 10, which aims to reduce inequalities. These goals address biggest challenges to children, the right to receive quality, inclusive, and quality education. My purpose is to inspire through my example. My commitment is to build a more inclusive future where every child has access to education. Because for me, you only have a real life if you really have a purpose in your life. I would like to share message in Spanish. Is ser reina es un privilegio, porque la verdadera belleza es la sonrisa de quienes por fin pueden ser y sentirse vistos. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we now move to Guyana.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed judges, fellow contestants, citizens of the world. Today, I stand before you not only as a contestant, but as a proud daughter of Guyana, a nation where the rivers run deep, the land is filled with culture, and the hearts of the people beat with resilience and strength. I am from Region 10, a region known for its beauty, but even more so for the strength of its people. I have seen firsthand the challenges faced by my family, including children struggling to read, youths yearning for opportunities, and a world where they are not included. My purpose in life is shaped by the love, resilience, and the silent strength of one person, my brother, who has lived with severe disability for 21 years. He is the reason I believe in a world where every child must be included. This belief became the foundation of my Beauty with a Purpose project, Read, Rise, and Shine. I built the world's first ever solar-powered mobile library, bringing books and educational resources directly to the underserved communities. But this is not just a library on wheels. It is an innovation hub of learning. By generating IXL adaptive platform, these children can now read directly from home. They can have access to traditional classrooms with this mobile library. We are expanding in many regions, giving every children the opportunity to rise, dream, and lead. A dream that started in a single community is now expanding to a larger scale: movement, inclusion, and literacy. I represent a country of unity, love, and vision. I represent children that are different and excluded, families just like mine who have fought for them to have a chance. But this journey is not just about me or my brother. It's about all of us choosing to rise together and making the world more inclusive. The Miss World crown is not a symbol of personal achievement. It is a promise built on solution decades old, a promise for us to uplift, strive, stand tall, not in front of others, but besides them, growing as we climb and striving as we go. Thank you.
Thank you. Haiti is next. Thank you very much. Please welcome Haiti.